Ladies and gentlemen, are your nuts quaking? Cause mine are! Holy W, guys. Oh my god, I don't even know what to say. I absolutely been loving this though. I can confirm. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is a spoiler review, without a doubt. Before we get into things, if you've been enjoying the channel, do what must be done. We're closing in on 500 subscribers, so truly to all of you that have been here, to all of you that are new, thank you so much for your support. Without further ado, let's get right into this. I like the discussion between Ahsoka and Huyang within the Purrgil, where Ahsoka was talking about when she was a youngling. Also, Huyang saying a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Let Dave cook, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it's cheesy, but shoot, I like that. I like that. And y'all, the best thing about this series so far is it really is making me hold my breath like a child in excitement. I made sure to put this in my notes, but when the Eye of Sion was about to exit hyperspace, I was literally holding my breath in excitement because I wasn't sure what I was about to see. You know, the unknown and lore of Star Wars and the expansion on that. I was just so excited. I was like, what are we going to see? And when they exit hyperspace, we find out that Peridea isn't the name of the galaxy, it's the ancient homeworld of the Dathomiri, and a space whale graveyard is floating around it. That's crazy. I love that. Like I said before, Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor both came out respectively. What I was most excited about for those games was exploring the backwater corners of the galaxy, learning all the little lore tidbits I could. Just this whole concept. All the concepts in this episode are crazy. They come into a new galaxy that has a ring of floating dead space whales around it, and the world is the ancient homeworld of the Dathomiri. Like, what? Yo! Absolutely, I'm absolutely down for that. Then we get to see the witches are alive and well, and I was wondering at first, is this the Great Mother Talzin in live action? But later in the episode, Thrawn nods to all three and refers to all three of them as the Great Mothers. So I guess Talzin was like the only one that was in the main Star Wars galaxy, and all three of these maybe are as powerful as she was? Y'all, Sabine has been an L. Like I've said before, these reviews are absolutely my opinion. I got in a little bit of trouble for that in an early review, but I really loved her in Rebels, but she's just been an absolute L in this episode. We'll get into that more later on in the review. I just wanted to say though, I do love how much her and Shin hate each other for like no reason at all. They just hate each other so much just by like the way they stare at each other. And it's so funny for no reason. I don't even think it was meant to be funny, but it is. I also really love Baylan and Shin's conversation on the top of this big temple thing, where Shin's asking about what they seek, their motives, and Baylan can sense the power there. Then, y'all, we get the Chimera's arrival. I loved this scene. I was literally, my mouth was just open wide for like 2 minutes straight. The Chimera looks amazing. It's just, I love, it's almost like it's repaired with this material that's almost gold-like, similar to how in the Chinese culture they'd use this practice called kintsugi, where they would repair dishes and cups with gold within it. That's what the Chimera reminds me of here, as well as the undead troopers. Hello? But yeah, this kintsugi style thing on Thrawn's Star Destroyer and on his troops, I dig that. That's awesome. Thrawn's entrance is amazing. Like I said, I was just aghast. Also, night troopers? Yo? Excuse me? What? And Enoch. Oh my god, even the Commander Night Trooper was wicked. I love their design too. That is so cool. He's got an army of undead troopers. This episode goes hard, just straight up. This is so metal. Oh my god. Holy shit. Also, Thrawn knowing General Baylan's skull from the Clone Wars was cool. It just shows how they're transferring Thrawn from animation to live action. Just how well he studied up, how great of a strategist he is, and how much knowledge he had. He's just great. He's an intelligent man. It's a different kind of villain. Of course, Palpatine is the craziest Star Wars villain, you know. But this isn't a physically intimidating or powerful villain. It's just going to be purely off his intelligence, which we've seen a lot in Rebels, but I'm really excited to see more of in live action. Now, here's where I'm going to talk about Sabine a little more. Like I said before I rant, I promised y'all I liked Sabine in Rebels. But Thrawn says, yes, the desire to reunite with a long-lost friend, how that desire will reshape our whole galaxy. Now, they set up Senator Giono and the other senators in episode 3 as the people who we should hate from the New Republic that are going to be responsible for its fall because they're not taking this threat seriously. I believe it was either the episode 3 or 4 review I did. I got in trouble a little bit in the comment section. People were defending Sabine and explaining their reasoning of why she helped Baylan in episode 4. But this season is really not succeeding in making me like Sabine. Thrawn's return truly is her fault. Just straight up. I have seen other YouTube channels where the people posted a video a month ago and it has 5 views, you know. I want all of you to understand I truly am grateful that this channel and community is big enough that there can be some discussion in the comment section, that I do have people that enjoy watching these videos and theorizing their own thoughts in the comments. I'm just saying that the defense that was raised in that video, it was more just explaining Sabine's reasoning, and I understand her reasoning for wanting to save Ezra, her last family. But it doesn't change the fact that this is straight up her fault. This is an absolute L on Sabine, no matter how I think of it. I hope she can redeem herself by the end of this season, but I'm having trouble envisioning how she could. But in Dave we trust, y'all, so it could still happen. But especially if her choice gets thousands of people stationed on those New Republic cruisers outside of Cetos killed when Thrawn returns, if she gets Captain Teva killed, if her actions lead to Mon Mothma's death, it's gonna piss me off. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I did love this convo between Sabine and Thrawn inside the temple though. Now y'all, switching up real quick, going back to the army of undead night troopers. Hello? If y'all think about how powerful this army is going to be, this army doesn't need food, it doesn't need water, it doesn't need provisions, they don't need rest, and would non-critical laser wounds even hurt them or phase them? Crazy, man. Now I guess this whole episode is taking place during episode 5 pretty much, and it's like we're getting the villain and Sabine's point of view, because Ahsoka isn't really in it much besides, or at all besides the opening. Also, Ahsoka and Huyang enter hyperspace at least a day after the Eye of Sion did, so I assume everyone will catch up with each other in episode 7. The Howler following Sabine scene was fun, I won't lie. It felt like Star Wars Rebels Sabine, like this is the Sabine I remember and enjoy. Just the way she's been written this season though, she's been tilting me so bad. So when Baylan told Shin that Ezra's from a line of Bakken Jedi that were trained after the fall of the Jedi Order, I don't really fully understand what he meant, I'll have to be honest. I guess he just means they are Jedi trained, but not to the standards they would have been during the height of the Order. Baylan also calls this place the Great Witch Kingdom of the Dathomiri, and I just can't help but think of it like when I graduated college, my family went on a cruise kind of to celebrate for me, and during part of it we were in Mexico and we were at these ruins in this forest, but then when you look at a map they explained how extensive that city truly would have been back during the height. This episode really reminded me of that, especially as Morgan Elsbeth's little ship flew down to the temple during the first part of this episode, and through the front of the ship you could see some of the Dathomiri ruins. It really reminded me of that city I saw in Mexico, and I couldn't help but wonder throughout the episode as Sabine and Shin and Baylan are exploring Peridia and all their different scenes. I couldn't help but wonder what the Dathomiri city would have looked like during its height. Again, y'all, like I said, that might not be something you even thought of. How awesome is the lore and all the questions raised throughout this episode? And this is just a tease of the galaxy, of this new galaxy. I mean, I assume by the end of the season they will go back. We're not going to see much of this galaxy, I think, in this season at least. Another tease is that Thrawn really wants to leave this galaxy. He's sick of it being banished there. Baylan, with his conversation with Shin in their final scene in the episode, raises the point that he can sense some other power there. He can sense a power calling him, and it's something the Great Mothers and Thrawn don't want to deal with. They want to get away from, which gave me chills, and it made me think of I believe this is Legends now, but it reminded me of Abeloth, the crazy evil entity. It reminded me of that. It reminded me of the Star Weirds. Just chilling concepts of the Star Wars universe. Crazy deep lore stuff. Maybe Dave is going somewhere like that with this. I don't know, but just the idea of something that even Thrawn and the Great Mothers want to get away from. Oh shit, ladies and gentlemen. Oh god. What? And then we get Ezra's first time in live action, and I had a big ass grin on my face, don't get me wrong. But Sabine doesn't fucking tell him what she did. This reminds me of young Gamora talking to Thanos within the Mind Stone, or the Soul Stone during Infinity War, and she's like, what did it cost? And he's like, everything. It reminds me of that. Like, Ezra's whole point in banishing Thrawn and himself was to save the galaxy, to save Lothal. And Sabine is fucking everybody over, which is crazy. I don't know why Dave would do that to a character he created. You know, I've said multiple times in other episode reviews, and Dave we trust, so I mean, he's really making his character seem like a massive ass L, y'all. And again, I loved Sabine in Rebels, but she has sucked. She has sucked in a majority of this season. And I hope she has a redemption, because it's not looking good. I also love Thrawn saying to Morgan, death and resurrection are common deceptions played out by both Night Sister and Jedi, which really makes me think of both of those are Force wielders, I think, is what Dave's getting at. Because if you think about it, I raised the point in another video, maybe Kyber crystals can't even be found in this new galaxy. So maybe the way the Force gifts people in this other galaxy is through what people from the main galaxy call, quote-unquote, magic. But it's really just the Force gifting them in a different way. Maybe I'm talking some hot-ass shit, I'll admit, maybe. And then something else I wondered was, is this Night Trooper army all undead Night Brothers? Because during Jedi Fallen Order, Merrin was able to use her Night Sister magic to make the Night Brother warriors stronger even before they were dead. Like, they weren't dead, and she still used her magic on them to make them stronger. So what I'm wondering here is, did the Great Mothers... They said that it would take 3 days to resurrect everyone from the catacombs. Dude, that sent chills down my spine. But I'm wondering, you know, is it all males? Like, only the males are resurrected? I don't know if it even matters. I just am wondering. And something I wondered too was there were definitely troopers that survived going into hyperspace at the end of Star Wars Rebels. So I was wondering, is Thrawn's entire army here undead night troopers? Or are there still some stormtroopers that are alive? Because when they said night troopers, you know, and again also, this is why they showed us what happened to Merrick in episode 4. Merrick, when he dies, the green Night Witch magic bursts out of his chest, out of his open wound. Merrick died, even though there were all these theories of who he could be. That death was supposed to get us ready for and show us what Thrawn's army is going to be like. But yeah, I just couldn't help but wonder if there's any living stormtroopers still. Like, is his commander Night Trooper, Enoch? Is he alive or dead? Because I definitely, during the episode, was assuming he was undead the whole time. But ladies and gentlemen, the series is an absolute W. It's an absolute W. During Andor and the seasons of Mandalorian, Bad Batch, I feel like I've heard the complaint from Star Wars fans a lot that Star Wars is supposed to be about the Force and Jedi and lightsaber fights. I understand where they're coming from. I do. But like I said, I really do love the deep lore of Star Wars, the nitty-gritty, the questions, all that kind of stuff, expansion on lore. And I just want to say, I get where fans are coming from on those shows, but I really do love those shows for what they are, especially The Mandalorian. Seasons 1 and 2, for sure. Season 3 was a little iffy. Going to what those fans have been saying, I do also have to admit, I really am loving the deep lore and the focus on the lightsaber fights and the Force and the expansion of what the Force is in this show. It's an absolute W. I just gotta say I'm a happy fan because I'm enjoying all of these aspects that are explored in the different shows. And I just have to admit, like those fans were saying when Andor and Bad Batch were coming out and Mando, that they want to see more of the Force and lightsaber fights. For me, I was like, I'm a happy fan. I enjoy all of this expansion of the different areas, especially Mandalorian exploring the backwater corners of the galaxy. But I have to admit, getting back into what the Force is and Ahsoka and lightsaber fights, getting to see Anakin again, I'm eating it up, y'all. I am eating this up. I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10. It was an absolute W. The only reason it's not higher is I'm really, really iffy on Sabine right now. I'm excited to see more Ezra though, y'all. And we know for episode 7 that Ezra and Sabine are going to have to 2v2 Baylan and Shin out in the wilderness of Peridia. And Thrawn's willing to leave Baylan and Shin as well. I'm enjoying this, y'all. I can't wait for next week's episode. Again, the most fun about this series also is just listening to all the theories and videos that come out on YouTube, all the edits on TikTok, all the stuff like that. I'm absolutely eating it up, and it's fun, even just between episodes. the Star Wars community is in such a fun and exciting place. I hope Disney continues to give people that love Star Wars the ability to make shows that not only stay in line with the lore that's already been set up, but can also expand on it. Dave is the perfect example. I love this episode. I love you guys. I can't wait for more. If you enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like. Feel free to share your own thoughts in the comments section. And thank you all for being here. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.